Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So today I thought I'm gonna make myself a cinnamon roll, and I've got recipe here. It's a sourdough cinnamon roll. So to make the dough, you're gonna need 160 gram of milk, which I've already got it. I've measured here, and I mix with, I don't know if you can see it. It's supposed to be melted one, so I mean the butter supposed to be melted, so I melted the butter in the milk. So I'm gonna make two batches. So I've got one egg, and I have to put the milk, which is 160 gram, with the butter, which is 28 gram of butter. So doing that, and then I need about 100 gram of sourdough starter. Of course, it's supposed to be bubbling. It is bubbling, sourdough starter. So this is acting as our yeast. So I'm gonna need 100 gram. 100 gram. Go. 20, 30, 51. 100 gram is a lot. I kind of feed my starter yesterday. Probably gonna have to feed again. 86 and 100. That's so I've got 100 gram, 103. I need 24 gram of caster sugar. Not caster sugar, any sugar. I've just got caster sugar. So I need 24 gram. You don't want it to be too sweet because you're gonna add more sugar to the filling. And I mix it. This one I need to mix it. Once I've mixed it, I'm gonna add. I think it's best I put salt now. Mix well, mix well. I'll just add salt this so I can mix it together. Mix it. So salt is only like 5 gram. It's like 1 tablespoon, 5 gram. Oh, nearly there. Ah, 4, still on 4. Maybe it is 5 now, but just 1 tablespoon will do. Mix again. And you're gonna need 300 gram of plain flour to make a dough. 300. Oop. 3 and 9. Let's get rid of some back. 300. Nearly. Oh well. 300. Come on, it's taking 298. How much do I do? 300. 300 exactly. So need to mix it and make a dough. Look rather runny. Hmm. I see the recipe wants to mix it further, increase butter. For richer dough, increase the butter and use 360 gram of flour. I might increase the flour because it look a little bit running. So I'm gonna add a little bit of flour. Might add just a little to make. I'm probably gonna go 20 gram more. Let's see if I normally follow random recipe online, so this one, at least this one look a little bit like it's gonna form like a dough instead of running sticky dough. This you were supposed. Okay. I think I'm gonna let it sit for. Let's see. Can you see? I'm gonna let it sit for 30 minutes before I roll again to make a little bit round and foamy thing. So while I'm waiting for this one to rest for 30 minutes before I use my hand and roll it, I'm gonna do the second batch because I need to make two and freeze it. So I will be back once that one is rested for 30 minutes. So I decided to mix the two batches together because it's not that. I thought it would be too much, maybe it will, I don't know. So we just need to knead for about 6-7 minutes until it stop being sticky, a little bit sticky. I might need to add more flour. I might need to add a little bit. It's too sticky for my liking. I'm going off the recipe bar. It's better, yeah. Not as sticky as it was before. So supposed to be 7 minutes. Will I do 7 minutes? I don't know. We shall see. The moment it stop being sticky, I'll just stop it. But it's still sticky. Still a little bit sticky. bottom. I think I'll leave for 30 minutes and I'll come back and see if it's gonna be a little bit better, because it's still sticky. After 30 minutes it might be easy to knead. Shall see. So it has been less than 30 minutes, but what I just need now. It look a little much better. It would have been better if I waited 30 minutes probably, but this is me. I don't normally follow the instruction to the end. So this is how it's looking like. It's still a little bit sticky, but I'm gonna leave the way it is. So here you can leave it rest for overnight, and then once it's rested for overnight, the following day you just do the filling and add the filling to the dough and roll it. So I don't know if I'm gonna leave 24 hours because I'm tempted to bake today. I don't know if it's possible, but we shall see. So I'm gonna let it rest for a while, and then I'll tell you whether I'm gonna bake today or tomorrow. Because tomorrow I'm going to work. By the time I finish work, it will be after 3. So I don't know if that's gonna be too late. That's why I need to do it today. Yeah. Okay. We will see. So my mic died. I didn't know I was recording it, but looked like he died. So here I'm gonna make the filling for the sourdough cinnamon roll. So you're gonna need 28 gram of unsalted butter. You're gonna need 100 gram of granular sugar. I've got caster sugar, so I'm gonna use that one, and 3 tablespoons of ground cinnamon. My cinnamon, well, I got it from Spain because the last time I made the cinnamon roll, I got the cinnamon from our supermarket Tesco, and it was awful. It didn't taste like cinnamon, didn't smell like cinnamon. So I'm kind of trying to find a better cinnamon powder, and I don't think I'll ever buy again from supermarket because I don't know what they put in there. I was even thinking of using, grind myself when I just get the cinnamon sticks and grind myself. So that, That's by the way. So 3 tablespoons of cinnamon and 1 teaspoon of plain flour. So that just melt together and mix it to get the mixture. Some recipe they say you should use like 50 something 58 grams of butter, but I think for me, if I use that, it would have been way too much butter. But whatever you want, I prefer less butter, less sugar. Because even sugar, I did not use 100 grams because I don't really like it to be too sweet. So I kind of use 100 and maybe 100 and I think around 150 because I've doubled the recipe. So yeah, there I was showing the tablespoon. Think mine was tablespoon or teaspoon. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, back to sugar. Because I double the recipe, instead of use 200 grams of sugar, I use about 140, I think. I prefer to use less sugar. Even when I bake a cake, I don't actually follow the recipe, what they put it, the amount of sugar too sweet. So I normally reduce. I always have less sugar. So we're gonna mix this and then you're gonna clean the worktop because that's where I'm gonna roll my dough before I apply the filling, and hopefully I'll be able to make this today because I don't really want to do tomorrow. I prefer get it done today because during a week is busy, busy, busy. So hopefully it will rise again because it's supposed to be the first rise is the dough rising, and then you need to have the second one before you actually bake it. So because I've got, I think I've got it's called a poofing section in my oven, which I think is just a bulb. I'm gonna put it there, and then to make it rising faster. So yeah, so that's I don't know. Maybe it's double in size. It's supposed to be double in size. Maybe it has. Maybe it hasn't. I don't know. But I always prefer the second puffing when it's the second rise. That's before putting in the oven. So for now, we're just gonna have to go with that. So this is how the mix is: the sugar, cinnamon, and butter. So put a little bit of flour so the dough is not gonna be too sticky. Seems to have rise a bit because I can see the bubble inside in between, inside the dough and under the dough. You know what I mean? I can see the bubble, and that tells me the sourdough starter it was okay to use. My sourdough starter, I've had that for many years now. Think it's probably 4 years. He's still going strong. So we're gonna have to roll this one. I'm no a professional, so it's not gonna be perfect rectangle. I think it need to be not rectangle. Yeah, rectangle. I think so that you can roll. So it's gonna be long on one side and short on the other side. So the way I'm doing now, it look like it's gonna be a weird shape, but at the end of the day, as long as it tastes nice, that's all matters. Probably next weekend I might try to make scones with sourdough scones, which I might use a kefir instead of sour milk. I might use kefir, sourdough kefir, or kefir sourdough scones. They are yummy though. So once you roll this, I didn't want to make it too thin because when you bake, sometimes it can break. I think just need to have a little bit of not too thin in between. You need to have a little bit of meat. Yeah, so I tried. It's not that bad. So it's not perfect. Look, the top is a little bit thinner than the back, but could have been worse. Could have been worse. So once the one is done, just put the filling, spread them around, and yeah, let's put the filling in. I was at some point I was gonna use this plastic, like a plastic cutting thing, which I normally use for my sourdough bread. But I think it's best to use a sharp knife because that one can mess up. It does you need to cut it properly. That one can make a little bit of a mess. So I didn't use it in the end. I used the knife and the knife seems to work better. So you need to make sure you spray that all over the place. If you can do equally, you can spray it equally. It's better. So spread, spread, spread everywhere. The middle is a little bit it look a little bit oops, I'm falling asleep. The middle look a little bit it has a lot, so I need to move it to the end. Maybe I should put a little bit of more butter. I don't know. It seems to be a little bit not easy to spray because maybe the butter was less. Don't know. Maybe next time I might add a little bit of butter. But again, I don't want to have too much butter in it. Also, don't want to spread all the way to the end because I think it might break. If that makes sense, you need to stick to the end, otherwise it's gonna unwrap it. I think it's you know what I mean. It's gonna come apart if it's not sticky in the end. So it's best not to put the filling all the way to the end. So it's a rolling time. roll, roll. Yeah, so in the end there, it needs to be a little bit tight, so it's not gonna open. So gonna need a sharp knife and cut it. Again, I didn't follow the recipe. I can't remember what the number of roll that's supposed to have or come or supposed to have how many, I mean, rolls. I'll just say kind of eyeballing and think, oh, this is the right cutting area. So I've got the tray ready for putting them in. Also, they say you can freeze them at this stage before you cook them, but I prefer to cook them and freeze them, so when I need it, I just take what I need and defrost it in 30 minutes, and that's it. But it depends if you prefer having this and cook it when you need it. I can do that too. So normally at this stage, once I've put in the tray, I normally put it in a fridge until the following day. That's what I normally do. I know I don't normally follow instructions because the instructions say you should put the dough in the fridge and then the following day you add filling and bake it. But I normally do this bit and put in the fridge, and the following day just from the fridge, leaving in on the worktop for an hour and bake it. That's me, but I like cutting corners. So this is it. I gonna put in a puffing section in the oven, and hopefully it will rise again today. It will rise today, so I can bake it today. So it has been maybe 2 hours or an hour two, and this is the increase in size. So normally you should wait overnight to bake them, but I need to do today so I can close this chapter, because tomorrow by the time I get home will be too late, I think, because I'll be finishing at 3. So I'm gonna put them in. The temperature is about 190 degrees for 45 minutes, 35 to 40 minutes. So I'm just gonna put them all together. Supposed to be the middle tray. Well, since I'm baking two, just gonna put it in and let's time it. Be back in for 35 minutes. So it has been about 22 minutes. So I'm gonna check because I don't want it to get burned. So let's see. Okay. of truth. I think it is done. If I leave them longer, my get burned. I think it is done. Yes, I'm gonna let it rest. Take the other one out and let it rest, and then we shall break one and see. So I've left it cool down for a few minutes, or maybe 30 minutes, and this is the final product. My cinnamon sourdough or sourdough cinnamon roll. And yeah, it is cooled down, and let's try. It is nice and yummy. Let me try. It's nice, not too sweet. So I'm happy with the result. But with my oven, I think 35 minutes would have been too much before I baked for 35 minutes. So I did for like 20 something minutes. So it depends with the oven, but I'm loving it. So now it is cooled down. I'll put in a freezer bag and freeze it. And if I want to use it, I'll just defrost it and warm up in the oven, and it will taste as fresh as if it was baked today. So thank you for stopping by, and watch to the end and let me know what you think. Have a wonderful week ahead. So this is Sunday, but I'm gonna post on Monday for this. Okay, have a wonderful week ahead of us. Bye.